It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate.
Let's talk about Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the so-called super mayor of Dolton, Illinois, who has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. If you thought politics couldn't get any messier, this story will change your mind. From legal battles over a chaotic caucus to accusations of financial mismanagement and a looming FBI investigation, Henyard's career has spiraled into a drama-filled spectacle. And she's not going down quietly. Instead, she's doubling down, refusing to admit defeat, and leaving chaos in her wake. So what's really going on with Tiffany Henyard, and how did we get here? Buckle up, because this is a wild ride.
15 months after our first WGN Investigates report on questionable spending by South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard, it appears she has been forced off the ballot.
First, let's set the stage with the recent Democratic caucus for Thornton Township. It was supposed to be a routine process, but it turned into a full-blown political circus. Henyard, who currently serves as both the Thornton Township supervisor and the mayor of Dolton, wanted to keep her township position. But things didn't go as planned. Her name was left off the ballot because she failed to meet the requirements for a full slate of candidates. Apparently, her team didn't have a certified assessor, which is a must for any township supervisor campaign. Instead, Illinois State Senator Napoleon Harris, who also happens to be the township's Democratic committee, swept in and secured the nomination for himself.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used.
Henyard didn't take the loss lightly. She stormed out of the caucus, accusing Harris of running an illegal process and vowing to sue everyone involved. "You didn't run none of this the right way," she shouted, her frustration boiling over. But Harris pushed back, saying the caucus followed the rules. "People in Thornton Township may be new to caucuses because they haven't had them in a while," he explained. But this has been the tradition for many other townships around the state. Still, Henyard's supporters were livid, claiming the whole thing was rigged. They said her backers were left standing in the cold while Harris's team filled the room. Some even accused Harris of voter suppression. "This is criminal," one Henyard ally fumed. Hundreds of people were not allowed in to be a part of the process. The controversy didn't stop there. Henyard has since doubled down on her claims, calling the caucus a fraud and threatening legal action. Her lawyer even argued that the rules were deliberately manipulated to keep her off the ballot. For example, one rule stated that candidates for township supervisor couldn't run for another office at the same time. Henyard, of course, is also running for re-election as Dolton mayor. She claims she wasn't informed of this rule until the day of the caucus, which she says shows the process was unfairly stacked against her. Harris's team, however, insists the rules were available in advance and publicly posted. But let's be real for a second, this isn't just about a messy caucus. Henyard's troubles go much deeper. Over the past year, she's been accused of everything from lavish spending to mismanaging township and village funds. Critics say she's been treating taxpayer money like her personal piggy bank. One report revealed that she dropped an eye-popping $43,000 on Amazon in a single day. Yes, you heard that right, $33,000. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. She's also been accused of racking up more than $100,000 on travel, meals, and other expenses, often with little to no explanation.
Because they can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls. But now when I bring the people out, you don't let them in?
Henyard's financial decisions have left Dolton in shambles. According to a preliminary report from former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was hired as a special investigator, Dolton's general fund went from a surplus of over $5 million to a deficit of more than $3 million in just 2 years. Lightfoot's investigation also revealed that Henyard used the village credit card for purchases at places like Walgreens, Target, and Wayfair. Meanwhile, the town's residents, many of whom live on a median income of just $24,000 per year, are left wondering where their money is going.
To me, there are perception issues with it that are right to get attention. Will the court look at those perception issues? Probably not, but the voters certainly should.
Henyard's financial woes don't stop at the office. She's also facing eviction from her rented home. According to her landlord, Henyard and her boyfriend haven't paid rent since August. They owe thousands in back payments. And to make matters worse, they reportedly changed the locks and garage code to keep the landlord out. This is the same Henyard who earns a combined salary of nearly $300,000 from her roles as mayor and township supervisor. If she can't even manage to pay her rent, how can she be trusted to manage millions in taxpayer funds? Henyard's financial troubles aren't just personal, they've spilled over into her governance of Dolton and Thornton Township, leaving residents to pick up the pieces. For months, trustees have raised concerns about unpaid bills, including overdue payments for basic township services. One major issue is the township's insurance, which has reportedly lapsed due to non-payment. Without insurance, residents are left vulnerable, as essential services like bus programs for seniors and liability coverage for township properties are in limbo. Henyard blames the trustees for blocking her attempts to resolve these issues, but critics argue that her poor financial management has created the crisis in the first place.
You didn't run none of this the right way. Illegal. Napoleon.
Adding to the chaos, Henyard recently proposed slashing the salary for her successor as Thornton Township supervisor to just $25,000, a massive drop from the $200,000 she currently makes. This move, described by trustees as a blatant attempt to discourage qualified candidates, has sparked outrage. Critics claim it's yet another example of Henyard prioritizing her personal agenda over the community's well-being. It's an insult to the residents who deserve competent leadership, one trustee said. She's trying to sabotage the position for anyone who comes after her. Meanwhile, Henyard's ongoing legal battles are draining township funds at an alarming rate. Her lawsuits against trustees and critics often require expensive legal counsel, which is paid for by taxpayers. Residents have expressed frustration over seeing their money used to fight battles that appear personal rather than professional. With the FBI investigation looming, some fear the township could face even more financial strain if criminal charges are brought against Henyard or her allies.
People were getting let in at the proper time. We had a caucus, and the people voted for us, slated candidates to represent them.
Despite all this, Henyard insists she's the victim of the smear campaign. She's been using every opportunity to paint herself as a misunderstood leader fighting against a corrupt system. During a recent village board meeting, she compared herself to Donald Trump, claiming she's been unfairly targeted because of her position. Like it or not, I am your mayor, she declared, as some audience members turned their backs on her in protest. But her critics aren't buying it. One user bluntly stated, she doesn't pay her own bills. Stop her and continue to expose her. If you thought this saga couldn't get any messier, think again. Henyard is also under investigation by the FBI. The agency has reportedly been looking into allegations of financial wrongdoing, including misuse of taxpayer funds and political retaliation. Business owners in Dolton have accused her of using the police to raid their establishments after they refused to support her politically. One bar owner claimed his license was revoked shortly after he declined to donate to a civic event sponsored by Henyard. Another business owner said his trucking company was shut down after similar pressure. These actions have led some to call her leadership a real-life Parks and Rec situation, but without the laughs.
Post 2025, and clock is ticking. The clock is ticking.
The FBI isn't the only entity digging into Henyard's activities. Her own trustees have called for investigations into her spending habits, which they say are out of control. One particularly shocking report revealed that some police officers in Dolton earn more in overtime pay than their actual salaries. For example, one officer with a salary of $73,000 received over $100,000 in overtime. Critics say this is just another example of Henyard's mismanagement, as funds that could be used to improve the town are instead being funneled into questionable expenses. So, what's next for Tiffany Henyard? For now, she's still in office, but her days as Thornton Township supervisor are numbered. Without the Democratic nomination, her only option is to run as a write-in candidate or an independent. Even so, she insists she'll be victorious. I am 100% confident that I will be on the ballot, she said, claiming her legal team is already preparing a lawsuit to challenge the caucus results. But even if she manages to stay on the ballot, it's hard to see how she can recover from the mountain of scandals that have piled up over the past year.
My seat by 82%. Know this, I am gonna come through on a landslide just like Trump did. Know that I will be victorious in the...
Meanwhile, the residents of Dolton and Thornton Township are left to deal with the fallout. Trustees have boycotted meetings, leaving the township without insurance and putting essential services at risk. Residents are frustrated, saying the constant drama has turned their government into a joke. In the end, Henyard's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and poor leadership. Her rise to prominence may have been fueled by identity politics and flashy promises, but her actions have shown that she's more interested in self-preservation than serving her community. As one resident put it, she is the reason why the town has no insurance. The big question now is whether Henyard will face the consequences of her actions, or if she'll somehow find a way to stay in power. And what does this mean for the future of Dolton and Thornton Township? Will the damage she's caused be reversible? Or has she left a permanent stain on these communities? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Is Tiffany Henyard a victim of political sabotage? Or is she her own worst enemy? And what should residents do to ensure their voices are heard moving forward? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this unfolding drama.